multiple as Witch Doctor is going to be picked up. MVP Phoenix may be planning on kind of dual laning that mid lane against the Wisp Chaos Knight, if it is mid lane.
Mm-hmm. I think Wisp ZK, it's really scary, but if you want to make full use of CK's like high movement speed and chasing abilities, the safe lane might be better. I mean, the mid, it's fine too. It's just as scary, except you don't have as much wiggle room. Like, let's say you use Reality Rift into stun. There's only like so much units of distance that you can chase for before having to tank towers.
Well, they've now got an Ogre Magi, who's kind of the other support pair with the OD. Now, the tankiness is going to work out here against a Bounty Hunter, but what else do you really see in this Ogre Magi pick?
I think it's a lot about the Bloodlust. OD and CK are both going to benefit enormously from the Bloodlust. Mm-hmm. And as you said, having a tanky support, at least one support who doesn't care too much about meeting the Bounty Hunter in no man's land is really comforting. And then you have, what should you say? Ogre Magi is one of the he's free to go wherever he pleases. He's not one of the static laners, and it might really work well against the Bounty Hunter and just act like there's a tri-lane and the safe lane, and at the same time Ogre can rotate to OD's lane and help him out. Whereas if you picked like something like a Witch Doctor, for instance, he's not able to move between lanes and balance out the pressure.
Well, we now have a Sven pick on our hands for MVP Phoenix.
5 seconds.
I mean, this is a hero that, unlike the Witch Doctor, who can't really combo up the Darkseer that well, they'll actually have a core who has an AoE stun to go with the Darkseer. That's a nice addition. You also have a hero that's going to be tanking up everyone with the Warcry, but this lineup does feel a little bit almost dysfunctional in a way for MVP Phoenix. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't feel like it's really going to click that well. Maybe it's the lack of synergy between like Bounty Hunter with some of the other heroes, but it feels like MVP Phoenix are kind of scrambling to respond to this really really forward opening by Signature Trust with the Wisp Chaos Knight.
Yeah, it might be the fact that you have Sven on top of a Darkseer, which, when you look at it in a vacuum, they have really nice synergy. That there's a lot of YouTube videos of like vacuums into like 4-man stuns from Sven, and just the team wipe within seconds. However, these two heroes, they both need a lot of time to farm. Darkseer, like, not even just a mech, he wants like arcane boots, mech levels, he wants like the max level vacuum. So when you have a Wisp CK running around rampaging your team, it might create a lot of confusion from MVP's perspective, and they have to be kind of careful with their mid pick. I feel, for the reasons that you mentioned, they have to not tip the balance, so that in the earlier series we saw Execration. It looked on the surface like they had a really solid lineup, but they were never able to use their lineup because Fnatic kind of took the game, took the fight to them, and their heroes were busy getting stronger. And the same thing could happen to MVP.
Signature Trust, last pick here, an offlaner. You've got, what's left? Batrider, which is banned out. Faces Void is still in the pool. Doesn't combo that well with the Wisp Chaos Knight, but it works with the OD. Help me out here, Heen. What else is left? I need a hero list.
I think a BKB control hero would be really nice. It would allow the CK to med fight the Sven quite nicely. Slardar.
Phoenix's turn to pick.
Okay, I mean, it's a good counter to the Bounty Hunter. Has amplified damage to somewhat negate the Warcry, even though I think Warcry is just so valued. It's like it's not even an ultimate. It gives you 20 armor, whereas Slardar, you need to get level 16 to do minus 20 armor. Not quite the same, but Slaughter,
10 seconds remaining.
he's going to have to play really well to be a
5
big impact.
seconds remaining.
The lanes aren't exactly easy.
Reserve time.
Yeah, they really are. Was there a better offlaner than Slardar? Can't really think of anything. Okay, there's a hero that can combo with the Darkseer's sort of 5-man potential. A little bit better. The Venomancer mid for MP.
Mm-hmm. I like this Venomancer. We were saying that we don't want to see MVP play the farming game in the early game and then get run over by the IOCK. And Venomancer is one of those heroes that are, like, it looks like on the surface that he's farming because he's just gonna spam the wards, but it's gonna create pressure and make people respond to Venomancer. And if he does get ganked, he'll use his ult, 30 ult, and make everyone go low, and then that's when not even just the Sven, a lot of heroes can clean up there. Like the Bounty Hunter is going to have a field day. Like imagine 3 track targets and they all got hit by the Veno ult. Like 1 shuriken, triple kill.
Yeah. That would be nice to see if it happens here. So they are going to be running Lakel's and Jab's mid lane. MyPro is going to be paired up with the Ogre, Boombell at top lane against the off lane of Brev. And then they have top lane AABBA up against the MVP dual lane. So this does feel like a lot of it comes down to, I don't know, how much impact can Bounty Hunter really have in a situation like this? He can rune control, but it is dual lanes on both sides. Do you think Bevy's going to be able to get a lot done here?
In the mid lane, it might be hard because it's a Venomancer and it's a slow hero. Venomancer is going to be more preoccupied with staying alive. He's not going to be too inviting of Bounty Hunter coming in because he doesn't want to play aggressive against Wisp CK. Kill?
MyPro, he's dead. It's double Ion Shell with a slow on him. They're going to be able to get the first blood. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Dubu is also going to be going down here, but it won't be first blood, so MVP Phoenix will still walk away with the advantage as long as they don't lose QO as well, which shouldn't be the case. They get the stun, Chaos Knight tries to run at him, but not there in time.
Yeah. But one cool thing we didn't talk about is the Bounty Hunter's potential to get Ion Shells from the Darkseer. Could pressure. I mean, right now it looks like the OD is completely on his own. I don't think OD does really that well against Darkseer solo. He has no way to clear these creeps, and he's gonna have to deal with the CSing under the tower. And this camp hasn't been blocked, which means Fork can macro this lane, push out the waves, farm the jungle, and then if OD wants to contest, they have to fight into an Ion Shell Bounty Hunter potentially.
Yeah, this is definitely a very good start for Rev. He's going to have a pretty quick level 3. Bounty Hunter, meanwhile, kind of scouting things out, is going to soak up the experience from this hard camp dying. The bottom lane is one that's going to be a bit more difficult for our offlaner, Slardar. He's facing up against the Witch Doctor and Sven combo, which he might be able to survive against, but he's going to be feeling a lot of pressure. Many opportunities where they might be able to get a kill on him if he's not careful.
Yeah, for sure. And right now already I'm sort of skeptical about this Ogre is able to, like... Ogre doesn't do anything against Darkseer, that's the problem.
Yeah. Like, it was kind of cute, the idea of, like, the Bloodlust with OD, but it's definitely going to suffer, I think, in this laning phase. Even now, when the tankiest support you can have is actually being chased away by the double Ion Shell, you can see the problems beginning to arise. This is supposed to be his big advantage, and he may still be run down. They have the Janata ready to go. Boombell doesn't have a stun yet, so there's nothing he can do. He'll just casually die to the Darkseer and the Bounty Hunter combination.
No, he'll bite the boots, but Ogre has high armor. He does not have extra magic resistance. And the mid lane, we haven't talked too much about the mid lane, but MP I suppose Venomancer is one of the optimal heroes if you're gonna sack your mid laner against a Wisp CK. I mean, look at what he's doing. He's playing so cowardly, but I mean that's what is effective in this lane.
Yeah.
Just don't give a kill to the CK. Get level 7 and your tower's safe. You're gonna.
Oh, my pro's dead again.
Yeah.
Bebby dives in behind the tower. The healing salve was actually going to be able to stay alive because the ion shell doesn't break that. So when Bebby finally does get contested, it's going to be against a much higher HP My Pro as well as a Boomwell. So they finally turn that one around. They're going to go on MP again in the middle lane. Last time he survived via a Fairy Fire, but this time I don't think he has the same kind of chances. He gets some damage on the jab, but won't be able to get a return kill here.
Yeah, he was playing so carefully. But these kind of mistakes are forgivable. I mean, just look at how much movement speed CK has.
Bebby showed himself underneath the counter ward. The Spirits will be able to get that kill, so no kills in the mid lane. All of a sudden quickly turns into 2 in the space of about 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Overall, though, none of the issues for Signature are being addressed. Their safe lane is still a disaster, and the off-lane slaughter, he's doing okay for himself. But when Sven gets an easy lane like this, by now everyone knows what he's capable of. He's such a popular hero in pubs as well.
He's going to be able to get a pretty fast Helma Dominator, start stacking up. The mid lane is unlikely to be going down. MP is going to be in some trouble here. 3 seconds stun. He doesn't have the slow out, and with Slardar cutting across, makes it even easier for them to claim that kill. Meanwhile, looks like Darkseer ended up dying in the top lane. Pick up a stun on him, and I guess we're able to just right-click him down with the OD.
Mm-hmm. The one good thing about OD versus Darkseer, he probably astraled him. Maybe not. Astral him, like, it canceled out the surge. But
yeah, that's good.
Not for you.
A lot of Signature's success this game depends on luck kills. But if there's any team who's a Wisp expert in the FBA region, it's Signature Trust. MVP too, but Signature Trust, I think, historically were more diverse with their Wisp combos, whereas MVP are more about the bristleback.
Yeah, it feels like it's good for MVP to stop dying a little bit. They are going to be able to get the Chaos Knight. MP already dropping quite low, is going to be going down to the urn. Devs picked that up so early thanks to those 2 quick kills that they had in a row against the Venom and Bounty Hunter. Now, at the top lane, Brev is going to be stunned up here. Looks like he's going to be going down again. Signature Trust, as the laning phase kind of matures, they start showing that they can actually win most of these.
I jinxed it.
Yes, so.
Like, MP has to realize that him playing as aggressive as possible probably won't affect CK's growth. So all he has to do is really just hit levels like 7 and beyond. Not saying it's easy, he doesn't even have boots, but he can do that if he really wants to. Like, his goal is to not die and just get levels. Just put the Venom wards, stay out of EXP range, like just on the edge, which is well outside the reality rift. Oh, whoa! What's going on in this safe lane all of a sudden?
They tried to set up for the kill on My Pro. The Bounty Hunter was there. They already had an Ion Shell on him. But then, okay, they kill the Venomancer as well. But then they go ahead and they imprison the Darkseer. And here, MVP's thinking, okay, this is our time to go, until all of a sudden the Ogre drops a counter ward. OD turns and starts right-clicking the OD, and they fire blast him as well, and he gets bursted. Now Bebby's going to go down in mid if he's not careful. Ooh.
There's a ballsy D ward.
Holy cow.
I think Venomancer died way too many times. It's 7 minutes and he died 4 times. If they're really desperate, they can just have the Bounty Hunter leech EXP here. He's not too far off from 6, and have the Venomancer jungle nearby, like this medium camp. Looks like he's gonna just do just that.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Creeps will end up coming back to lane, so QO has a chance to be able to push this down. The cleave is actually doing a lot of damage here, and QO still has a Mango. They have to be careful playing around this one, but their Witch Doctor is not here. QO is just going to end up dying underneath the tower, it looks like, waiting. And he throws out the stun, but we pulled back to his doom. Febby gets another counter ward in the top lane, but Signature Trust going to turn that right back around as Boombolt drops another one of his own. Should find it eventually, no problem. Or maybe not.
Yeah, Febby did put it in a nice spot.
Dire's middle tower is under
Gonna
attack.
steal the bounty rune. Yep.
You know, I was going to say, with the way that the lane phase was going for MVP Phoenix in the very, very beginning, I was going to say, as long as they don't die, you know, in the next 5 to 10 minutes, as long as they just kind of make sure they stay alive, they're going to be looking good, right? Because the mid lane can't be pushed because MP is a Venomancer. It's really tough to go into that one. So if that tier 1 is tower is staying alive for the Radiant side, that means that MVP Phoenix should have pretty good protection over this Ancient stack. But now we're seeing how even that is going wrong, as the counter ward laid down is blocking the stack, and their counter to kill the counter ends up missing.
I think Kyo should. There are cases where the most frustrating cases are whether you're not sure if you stacked wrong or there is actually a counter ward. But it's only a double camp right now, so they should have a strong suspicion that it's been blocked somewhere else.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think MVP this game would have been a lot smoother had they not made the mistakes. Just realize what they need not to do. But the opposite happened, unfortunately. Looks like, Febby knows.
Throws it down now. And finally finds the counter ward blocking out that stack. Still, though, cost them a bit of time. Cost them stacks. Now they could even lose QL with this relocate in. They've got so many stuns to set this up. And they actually were going to go for a dive on Dubu, but he wisely TP'd out. But it goes to show that the Signature Trust team will run you over. They were willing to go for that tower dive because they know MVP Phoenix just do not have the heroes to respond to those kind of rapid rotations.
And this is without any participation from the OD. He's busy dealing with the Darkseer. It's kind of funny because the Darkseer and Venomancer are essentially doing the same thing. They're just being annoying, making it so that people can't leave their respective lanes.
Top 2 net worth 4,400 apiece on the OD and Chaos Knight, while our Sven is all the way down 3,700. May drop even lower if he ends up dying. Fortunately, got off the war cry against Lakel, so right-click damage not much of a threat. Wiz comes in, God Strength. They actually think they could fight this one. Dubu's trying to get the paralyzing task out, but it's not there in time. This just means MVP Phoenix, they've wasted an ult.
Yeah. The big thing is that Darkseer made the rotation. And he might die here. Oh god.
Just doesn't stop.
Yeah, Dubu tried to cast the cast, but as the Phantasm was going, he lost the target, and they find Febby.
He's gonna be spotted out next. QO has nothing.
I like how
Kyo
Dire's
just
looks like Febby's gonna be able to get away because he hit himself in the trees for a while the dust wore off.
a bit of a hesitation for a signature. They wanted initially they wanted Febby, then they saw this cocky Sven just farming as his buddy was dying right next to him.
Boombell just managed to kill both the counter wards laid out by Febby earlier, and he set up to stop Febby from rotating over. Now, he's probably not going to be able to kill Febby. It's going to be a little close, but he gets down to about 50 HP. But he
Space
is
creation.
a lot of time, you're right. A lot of space created by Boombell right now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And he's still blowing tons of camp. This is the best thing. The counter ward for counter ward trade-off is so worth it for the team blocking out the stacks because it's an even amount of gold traded between the two supports most of the time. And you're just stalling up Sven's ancient stacks, which is super necessary, especially the single ward. Now the wall goes down. They are going to try and slow down MyPro. They're still going to be able to catch QL with the stun as well as Dubu. The ultimate goes down from MP, but they already got the imprisonment on MyPro. He actually managed to dodge that one, looks like, and MP is going to end up dying now with no defensive techniques to be able to stop Signature Trust, just kind of running at you. And this could be a really fast game for Signature Trust. The way this is going, the way that they're just killing non-stop MVP Phoenix. And this time around, they have very superior late game, especially if they keep this Sven lower on the net worth board. They are going to just dominate the mid to late game.
Yeah, that was this ward to the left of the Ancients, where Febby rather put the sentry ward earlier. They kind of assumed that there wasn't a ward there because there's a sentry that doesn't really give vision. That just completely changed this game.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, all things considered, Signature, they are doing a really great job of keeping the Sven down, but the towers, they don't have the best ways of dealing with. They barely did any damage to the towers, and that's to be expected when you have a Venomancer pushing out a lane here, Darkseer pushing out lanes there.
Yeah.
Gyo gonna go on some kind of hunt here?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. He thought his two supports were gonna back him up, but Jabs was actually keeping them back with the spirits. Bounty Hunter didn't want to reveal his positioning, so he didn't run through that little gauntlet of light. And whatever kind of rotation that was, I think you could still call it a failure.
Yeah. It's this kind of forcing Sven to make these kind of plays. It's a sign of good pressure from Signature. Sven doesn't want to be doing this. He doesn't have that many items. He has so much more to farm, and for him to rotate like that, it was an awkward moment. I can actually visualize what Kyo is, what kind of facial expression he's making and what he's saying.
You're so used to that by now, huh? That'd be a simple pick off there for Signature Trust as they relocate in to start our amp damage.
Looking like a similar pattern to last game, where Signature had MVP's number in the early game. I mean, but do they have the right plans this game to follow up on it, or have they picked these heroes because they know they can just farm the OD, farm the CK, and they don't really have to have a specific plan as to how to go high ground early on? Because for now, it just looks like Signature, they are running around the map farming, and if they find a pickoff, they relocate and go back to what they were doing, not really making progress in terms of expanding their territory.
Yeah. They seem to be pretty happy to just let these three Hand of Midases play themselves out. I can't believe they got three of them.
Oh, Fabby. He's gonna get solo killed.
Yeah, he is. He knows it too. Just throws whatever damage he can. MP is trying to finish up that Veil of Discords, which is one of the big team fight items that can change this dynamic for MVP Phoenix, can put a little bit more pressure on Signature Trust, but it's not looking real favorable. Sven looks like, I don't know, do you think he actually should complete the SNY or mid MP skip that? Or do you think SNY, because I feel like SNY is a little too slow.
Yeah, I think he might have to go for a BKB, but then, oh, nice.
Kill there on MyPro.
Yeah, as for that one, I think it's kind of awkward to go the Yasha and not the SNY. He should have probably skipped the Yasha if he had the foresight to know what kind of game he was getting himself into. Because SNY, he's not farming fast anymore. This is just a regular carry. He's not making great use of his cleave ability. BKB from now might take quite a while, and against the stuff he has to face, he's going against 3 stuns and an OD. I don't know if Sven is not going to step up for his team, who is... They're going to have to play more cat and mouse. Venomancer doing his thing, and Darkseer is pretty farm, but how can you really make use of the mech if your team doesn't want to fight?
Yeah, that is pretty rough. And the mech doesn't really... I feel like the mech, you really see its power with kind of damage over time lineups, or even some AoE damage. You really feel the power of that mech, but it feels a lot less powerful when you've got this really heavy single target damage from Signature Trust. You've got the OD laying into one hero with his orbs, a Chaos Knight, one shot, you know, Slardar, Ogre Magi, all single target heroes. Even if they do have that mech, it's only a 250 heal. It's not going to change.
Over at top, OD.
They need this kill badly. They're going to be able to stop that imprisonment, which is so important. If the imprisonment goes down, maybe there's TPs, but...
Yeah. But that's really good for MVP. They make it so that they don't get turned around on, and they get a tower, which is so vital to delay this game. Before, like, Kells hits some kind of threshold where he gets like a heart and can tank towers indefinitely and just start mowing down all these towers to the left side of the map.
BBA thought it was a good time to jump in, but he'll be vacuumed back and instantly dying. Signature Trust. Hey, gotta start curbing some of those pickoffs.
I'm surprised that they didn't TP in for that. Oh, look, MP.
Not going down immediately, will be able to get off the ultimate. I'm presuming a relocate out is going to be following here. Needs another 5 seconds for a tether.
Gyro's at meta. I think they are going to realize this.
The paralyzing cast is about to come back up. Jabs has no... Relocate starts coming out and takes them away.
This looks like Wisp is going to be sacrificed here.
Yeah.
His teammates. So unfortunate for Signature that they didn't make any use of the Aegis. There were potentially 2 or 3 relocate team fights. Until now, it's been hit and runs, but I'm sure if they were ready for it, let's say like the OD knew he was gonna get gone on, Signature would have crushed that fight at top. And Sven gets that Blink Dagger. He needs both a Blink Dagger and the BKB. But a Blink Dagger is a nice start.
Making a little track golds here and there. Again, MVP Phoenix are in a position where they can come back thanks to this extra gold mechanic. Last time it was the Alchemist. This time around it's the Bounty Hunter. Signature Trust really got to tighten up their game. Otherwise, they're going to see that, you know, 5-7K lead that they had start bleeding away from them very quickly.
Yeah, it's quite impressive that Kyo is able to keep at top net worth.
Yeah, that's true. Even with all the blocks on the ancient creeps and such, he's still been able to farm it a couple times.
Here's a 3-minute smoke from my pro. Yeah, he just broke the smoke like within 5 seconds of getting smoked. So this is a bait. They want OD to get it gone on, and they're gonna respond with a Wisp ZK. I think MVP should realize what is going on. Like, if they go for the side that doesn't have the CK, they're gonna get relocated on.
Blowing things down. MVP Phoenix trying to get away.
Nice
Good
dodge.
imprisonment. That's perfect. The counter initiation there from Abba. Managed to hold that through the vacuum. Follow up. Still though, the drop from the hammer. Managed to kill most of MVP Phoenix or bring them low enough. And now you're going to have the cleanup of Latels plus the whip. Go through a couple of heroes. Febby's trying to back out, but he's running right into the hands of Latels. That amp damage staying on him. And Febby immediately ends up going down. They don't have the stuns until, well, Larslater comes back into the fold. Able to take on the Witch Doctor. They got 2, but they lost 4 for that one. And that all starts with the fact that the imprisonment went down and dodged the Sven Hammer. If they combo stun the OD and he's not able to get off that ultimate, that fight could look entirely different.
Yeah, exactly as you mentioned over here at the top tier 2. that was also a similar scenario. So this just shows how potent Signature's teamfight can be if they are ready, and that was very intentional from Signature. Unfortunate that MVP weren't able to read it, but I guess they thought they could win because that vacuum wall was so good. But right now they are kind of lacking. The Sven is pretty strong. He doesn't have the BKB, so he is going to get controlled. And the Venomancer, while he does have the Veil, he's so squishy, and his ultimate is not backed up by an Aghanim, or like he needs extra damage from the Aghanims as well as a cooldown to match the Wisp relocate.
Seems like MVP Phoenix, they're gonna have to hit so hard once they get this BKB. If they don't win like several fights from there, I'm rather concerned. That paralyzing cat's doing so much work though for Jubal. Holy crap! Just managed to stall up the Slardar, so he wasn't able to get that kill. The OG still managed to get the tier 2 with all this space that's being created, but MVP Phoenix only have a full 5 right now because of a little bit of RNG luck.
Oh, Kyo.
Relocated. They're going to go on for Rev first as looks like Bevy be the next target. QL starts going on to MyPro here, but he has to blink himself away ahead of the Ogremon Giant stun. Paralyzing Cask actually holding Lakel's and Chaps into place. They have to relocate back in a second and will be able to get themselves away. QO, meanwhile, almost blink up. Slardar knows he can't actually catch him, and they're going to turn.
What?
I'm not sure about this one. QL blinks himself back.
Yeah. That was a bit too greedy from Signature Trust. They wanted both Kyo and Forev. The relocate was way too deep, just between the tier 2 and 3. We saw the CK, he almost, I mean, he didn't almost die, but he like, the heart doesn't mean he's invincible.
Yeah. Still 2k HP after all this harassment from MP and Bevy. He makes his way back. Now QO comes in, pops the Warcry, and blinks himself backwards, showing just how scared he is of this team. Slardar looking for his initiation or counter-initiation. It seems to be a very key point in whether or not Signature Trust are able to win fights. The vacuum back in, they get the track on him. So that shouldn't come as a surprise, his positioning in this fight. So it seems like Signature Trust are still willing to try and force it here, despite all these tracks set up.
That is a level 3 Phantasm, so potentially he's gonna save it for the next tower or team fight. Oh, he's gonna jump
goes in, he goes straight for Jab. I think he's going up the middle, but does come in the vacuum back in. He's able to deal more damage to the wall, finishes him in the end. QO stays alive a little bit longer, one more swing. All he needed to kill MyPro, but unfortunately Lakel was disrupting the back line, shoving those supports back to make sure that QO got no support whatsoever. They're gonna try and chase down Forev. Now nice blink away just as the reality rift goes down. That was half a second away from being a secondary kill there for Signature Trust. Still though, Signature Trust do come out on top, trading their Wisp for the carry of MVP Phoenix, and will be able to get a good amount of damage on that tier 2, eventually, as soon as Backdoor Protection fades with the Phantasm.
Yeah. I think it was a nice attempt by Kyo to go for the Wisp, who just tethered, and he was sort of out of position. Like, if he had a BKB, that was almost a guaranteed kill. But his team was too far. His team is not mobile enough to follow up on it for now.
I mean, you just looked at the way that he killed the Wisp, essentially, with a little help of the Darkseer, and then almost killed the OD, and then you're just like, wait, where the hell is the team? Why isn't there any fallback? But Lakel's was, what can these supports really do? They're just being pushed back constantly by this big Chaos Knight.
Whenever your entire team is afraid of Chaos Knight, I think that's a big problem. Like, Sven should be pretty okay with man fighting Chaos Knight once he gets the BKB. But until then, even Sven has to be quite cautious, and this is one of the manliest heroes we're talking about here.
And one of the manliest heroes just picked up an ultimate orb. Is this a full stat build? Are we going to see a Scotty out from the Chaos Knight after a heart?
Manta, possibly?
Oh yeah, you're right. That's Manta. Here I was thinking like, it's not Lincoln's. It must be Scotty, but I forgot. There's another item in that pool.
I mean, yeah, it could be Scotty. But I think Manta is really nice here. It can dodge, disjoint a lot of spells. Just generally just super good on Chaos Knight, melee hero who can control the illusions with, he already has the stats to back it up. And Forev...
TP out. Slardar, blink up in a second, but it's not up fast enough. So this means a Force Staff now for the Darkseer, which is pretty important for being able to kite other heroes around against this Chaos Knight. And
yeah, they have 3 Force Staffs on MVP, so they understand what they want to do is basically every time CK stuns someone, you just bail him out, even if it takes 2 Force Staffs.
A pause for Signature Trust, but they've already circled that MVP Phoenix have smoked up, so there's
yeah, they're gonna be very aware of the Roche.
How do you play this Signature Trust? You don't want to get caught out by the smoke, but you also don't want to give up Roshan. You sit in your secret shop area and just wait for MVP Phoenix.
I think the counter to this is counter smoking. You gather up. I mean, when did Febby get this super deep ward in? I guess this is the perks of Bounty Hunter. Like, this ward is here. It's so unexpected for Signature Trust, but basically Signature Trust, if they suspect that MVP is smoked, then smoke themselves. And it's okay if MVP, like, they both know each other are smoked. If you're not smoked, though, what's going to happen is MVP, they're going to know when the smoke breaks that they found Signature Trust, where Signature Trust have a late warning. So they want to be on even grounds in terms of no element of a surprise. They want to just smoke up, run into each other, so it'll be an even fight. And in an even fight, Signature Trust should come out ahead. However,
Orlakel's MVP have already jumped in. They managed to almost kill the Slardar, but the back goes down. Plus the wall, that's good one, but Lakel now jumps onto MP. Unfortunately, though, the ultimate already went down. So Lakel, who did manage to get relocated out, they saved the Slardar. Instead, he's going to be left behind. He ends up dying now. QO, another Force Staff, keeping it going. MVP Phoenix showing top-notch team synergy here in these fights, saving each other and boosting each other across the wall so they don't lose anybody in that whole entire fight.
Yeah. I mean, this ward here is like so MVP right now. And they're gonna get the Aegis.
Unless our Slardar goes something pretty YOLO and tries to jump in for a steal, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, there's a Venomancer who could put wards around just in case.
I think MVP Phoenix just assumed that they've got this one in the bag. Blink backwards for Rev. Getting caught in the mid lane. Now Roshan about to go down. Is he going to do it? Slardar jumps in, but it's too early. He managed to get the sprint out, though. Is still going to be able to escape. The track is laid out onto him, but MVP Phoenix will claim that Aegis now. They start pushing forward. Febby sees OD, but careful Febby. Not all of the team is helping you out here. Some of them are pursuing the Slardar. Some of them actually think they can catch this slippery fish. As, yep, the Venomancer able to get him with the ward, stopping that Blink Dagger, and they will get this kill. Jabs actually with the relocate in, which they did see. But MVP Phoenix not going to be able to chase him down.
Yeah, Signature are starting to crumble, and it's really tragic because this is deja vu of last game. What are they doing?
Yeah, I don't know, but they just seem to be falling apart.
They knew they were so ahead in this game. Maybe perhaps not as ahead as last game, but still in a commanding position. And to see that, like, they built it up for 30 minutes, and to see that go away in a span of 2 minutes must be heartbreaking for them.
Yeah.
But just because you're frustrated, you can't just make plays like this.
You know, I was going to say if Signature Trust won this game, that you could see you know, why they beat Fnatic with some of their early form. They just needed to, you know, execute the finish there on that game number 1. But now we're seeing the same issue here in game number 2. OD drops the ultimate. It will be able to kill Febby, but that's still a big time pickoff plus track gold going the way of MVP Phoenix. They just took him down for 60 seconds. MVP Phoenix still have that Aegis even without the bounty hunter. They may still feel comfortable going for more objectives. They actually going to go and clear through their jungle first and push out bottom lane. They're going to go for the next tier 2.
Yeah, I'm kind of puzzled that OD didn't go for a BKB. He just went a bunch of items that aren't BKB.
That is really a good way to put that, because Trumps is pretty standard. Dragonlance, not as much. Shiva's, well, certainly not before BKB. That's definitely not standard.
And the Midas might have been okay because he was a safe lane and he was having a, like, initially it was a rough time, then it became a really good time for him. And they didn't really have the best ways to clear towers, but now it's like starting the BKB now might take a while, and with the momentum that MVP have managed to secure themselves, I'm afraid it will barely come online or not.
Push forward, MVP Phoenix. Not going to go a high ground here. Definitely should wait for the pickoff because they've got so much information. It's unnecessary, I think, for them to go high ground. They still have plenty of time left on the Aegis. Lotus Orb, good pickup here for the Bounty Hunter. Now he's got a way to remove, because he didn't get the Guarding Greaves, because obviously Forev has them. Now he has a way to be able to get rid of dust, or more importantly, amp damage.
Also, the CK doesn't have BKB, which means CK can't go on to whoever has a Lotus Orb on, which should be pretty cool. I mean, Sven has a BKB, which makes him kind of immune to everything. So I suspect the Lotus Orb will be used on NP a lot to guarantee that he's going to get the Poison Nova off.
Top lane is being pushed out by the Slardar right now. MVP Phoenix. They're thinking about it. They're really hemming and hawing about whether or not they want to go high ground here, but it seems like they decided against it.
Yeah, they don't have to rush things at all for now. But I mean, the Darkseer is so close to his Shiva's Guard. He just picked it up, in fact.
And QO has a lot of gold. 5,700 on him. Yeah. In fact, the moment
probably
the Aegis. Do you think you get Satanic with the Aegis, or do you think you wait for the Aegis to go down and you get AC?
I don't think he's gonna get AC. He's gonna go Daedalus. He wants to get a Rampage. That's kill.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I was also going to say, you know, Moonshard is still an item too that he can actually consume, but you know, I'm down with your Daedalus idea.
Yeah.
You will. What other?
He knows the Aegis doesn't have that much time left, and he's like, rather than Moonshard, Daedalus is a prettier looking item for Sven. The glory.
He wants to see those big time crits. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to catch anybody with his invis, it seems, or maybe I'm speaking too soon. QO is making his way down here. They do have the gem on the Slardar.
Yeah.
He's going to see him. Amp damage, blinks back.
That was a ballsy move by Abba to amplify damage first.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, QO's the type of guy who, he doesn't hesitate. He sees you, he's going to blink on top of you and auto attack you or something. But Signature Trust, after that disaster of Roche, or like it wasn't actually a Roche contest, but near the Roche pit, and afterwards they made all their mistakes in a span of 2 seconds. And Starter, please be careful with your gem.
It's away with about a half second to spare.
I wonder if he regrets not going for the BKB. He made a conscious decision to go Midas into Blink into Vlad's. Had he gone BKB, I think he could have had it by now. Because like Lakel's already,
Yeah.
Lakel's does have lifesteal for himself and the heart. He just sold it actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, maybe with this pickoff, things will be just fine. The BKB goes down. They almost kill the Slardar with just cleave damage. They still will, in fact. QO's gonna be able to catch him in the end. No relocate out, barely not in time. The Wisp.
Record race there. Boom Bell also going to lose his life here. Track kills all around. A 4th kill on the Wisp coming up next.
And MVP Phoenix, I was just about to say how scared they should be. As soon as the BKBs start coming in, the teamfight's going to change pretty dramatically, but just as I'm about to say that, MVP Phoenix find their opening and might just be able to end this game. They're still chasing down Lakel's double 5x here, coming forward. MVP Phoenix is changing all the way here. BKB activated Lakel's gonna go on to MP, able to blow him up. And now the Death Ward going in. My god, that did a lot of damage. Nubu
Is under attack.
able to help out QO there in the physical damage department, helps kill the Chaos Knight, and now I think the game is almost completely over.
70 seconds on the clock for the Chaos Knight, 20 seconds left for the OD, but without the Chaos Knight, I don't see how they can win this fight.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
It's pretty much over. This is at least double racks here.
Back. Oh no, Slardar, what was the point of
Yeah.
getting caught?
Never mind double racks. Possibly like a Mega Feast incoming.
Dire's
Sven could die here and just buy back and come back with boost of travel too.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen. Dire's middle barracks has
No,
fallen.
they're gonna get full megas.
Dire's bottom
There's
barracks
nothing
has fallen.
Signature Trust can do about this.
Dire's bottom barracks.
Back jabs. Immediately goes down.
QO starts chasing my pro.
No Sage procs though, so they back up and taking that lane.
Dire's top tower is
Mega
under attack.
creeps. Not sure. I'm sure Signature Trust aren't. They were so close to winning both games, and
Dire's top tower is
their
under attack.
late game strategy is not quite as refined as their early game. It was a good learning experience, should I say, for Signature Trust. I really feel like not many teams do this well against MVP in their early game. So if they just touch up their mid-late game decision making and how to close games, I think they're gonna quickly be rising to the tier 1 level.
All right, well done by MVP Phoenix, I guess, to come back in both Game 1 and Game 2 like that. Signature Trust, definitely a lot to go over in those replays. They got to learn how to be able to secure their advantage a bit better, obviously, because I mean, you could definitely see from the early game why Signature Trust were able to be that team that broke Fnatic's win streak. So, I guess still a lot of things to be perfected, I guess. But it's going.
Yeah, I mean, for MVP though, I feel like MVP also made a lot of progress because this team was so bad at playing from behind. Their success, a lot of their criticism came from they either snowball or self-destruct, and both the games today they made a huge comeback, and it just shows that they are a different MVP from a few months ago. They've changed. It's kind of odd to say that their late game late game transition seems stronger than their early game from what we saw today. Their laning phase was kind of clumsy, but I mean, good showing from them. It was pretty cool to see them actually make a comeback. I was very skeptical. It's like, especially game 1, the lead was so big for a Signature. I didn't think they'd be able to do it.